Family. Oh, you put that down so we won't have no echo. I look a little oily. Why is you shining, sir? Why is you shining? Hope you've been having a fantastic week. Glad to have you here with another episode of Book Club. We done took a couple of weeks off, doing several things, for the holidays, and then I had to get some wisdom teeth pulled and allow myself a little time to heal. Remember, I always talked about, if you catch it on Tuesday night, I've definitely talked about you only got 8 pieces of the pie of yourself, and you need to keep about 4 for yourself. Half of that pie for yourself so you can provide the energy that you need when you need it. So I took a little bit of those pies back so I can take some time to heal. But I am glad to be back with you. Glad to continue reading this book. So if this is your first time here, this is Soul Swami Live, where we discuss all things healing in various forms. Tuesday generally is our classroom day. We do a lot of learning, energy reading, things of that nature. And then this is Thursday, a spinoff of our Tuesday night show, in an effort to reconnect with that child energy in us by allowing someone to read to us. And that brings us here. Generally at the beginning of every show, we do a little bit of energy work to help make sure we regulate our energy and rid ourselves of the stresses of the day. This week we are on the root chakra, and the color for that root chakra is red. So if you're into color therapy, you want to think red. You want to eat red things, wear red things, spend some time in red light, things like that. Hence the red lighting to match the energy space, the chakra that we're on today. Your root is good for your survival, your sense of safety, your stability, your sense of security, and your grounding. Your grounding is your connectedness to everything around you and the energy that's around you and the universe and God and all of those things. Next we go into a little bit of sound therapy, and I know y'all missed the big bowl, so we got the big bowl today. And after that we'll do a little breath work. I think today we will do some triangle breathing. We did box breathing on Tuesday, so I was just thinking about it. I think today we'll do some triangle breathing, and I'll explain that when we get there. Right now, hopefully you got some headphones on. This is great sounds for your headphones, especially me reading to you with my Billy D. Williams. You'll never find. Hit you with that Lou Rawls for a second, family. But right now, just relax and listen to the sounds. Listen, I'm laughing because every time I hit this bowl, I think of a song. Fantastic, family. I appreciate you on Twitch. You done took us to the next level. So now officially I'm going to check after the show, but I should be a Twitch affiliate. So now y'all really start gaining them points and being able to purchase things and play games and all of that fun stuff. So I appreciate you, Twitch family. You know what I mean? Twitch always holds a special a special place in my heart, because that is my most ground roots. Well, we don't do live energy readings on Tuesday. So I didn't set it up. What, you feeling like a live energy reading? 'Cause I can go set it up for you if you want to join. We can do a live energy reading for the reading. What, you want one? Let me know. Oh, that was probably your quickest response ever. No, I try to keep live energy readings for Tuesdays. And so, family, if it's your first time here, you ever want to join and get you a live energy reading, then you hit the link or follow the directions if you're on Facebook, because you got to do several things depending on what type of phone you have. And we'll take some time to read your energy, but for now, we're just doing a little bit of sound. Ah, congratulations on the rebirth of Slick Like My Gangster Stroll. So, I understand how it is to cut your locks and then regrow them, because I did that myself. I cut them, start regrowing them, and I cut them again. Hey, but you should get live. Let us see. I bet you out here looking like ODB. So right now they're gonna look like coils instead of twists, right? I forgive myself and I release. Well, I tell you, good luck with that, especially if this is your fourth time. Um, and honestly, when you said this is your fourth time growing locks, the first thing that popped in my mind was the meaning of the number 4. So there are several forms of numerology that people use to help navigate their life. And I know of one that I had to learn myself, and the number 4 is Culture Freedom, which ironically, you'll see it, especially if you're on Instagram, you'll see that name, because I've used Culture Freedom in a bunch of stuff. But Culture Freedom is the number 4, and it is definitely about creating a culture for yourself. And for us, we reshaping a culture, which is a healthy way of life. Culture is your way of life, your habits, your behaviors, your thoughts, your traditions, your rituals, all those things. So it's about culture, creating a healthy way of life for us, and then through that culture, we find freedom, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental freedom. So maybe the number 4 means something powerful for you. Maybe that's why it's your fourth time, because you're trying to find a healthy culture to create some freedom for you. So the next thing, oh shoot, I forgot all about the. I just kind of jumped straight in. I know we ain't did book club in a while, because I forgot about telling you the rest about. Again, we on the route. I skipped all that stuff. So I said the root is red. I told you what it means. If you are into the element for the root is earth. So if you ever need to do some grounding, spend some time with the earth, whether that's walking in the park, sitting outside, or like I love to do, play with my plants, stuff like that. Get in some dirt, get your hands dirty, walk barefoot in the grass, do something like that. Something that allows you to interact. Go hug a tree if you a tree a tree hugger, something like that. If you are into essential oils or aromatherapy, you want to think frankincense, myrrh, patchouli, or sprinkle a little extra black pepper on your food. Black pepper is good for that. If you are into stones, you want to think jasper, red jasper, garnet, black obsidian, bloodstone, black tourmaline. All of those things are very good for the root chakra. And the next thing we're going to do again is some breathing exercises. Today we're going to do triangle breathing, which is you breathe in for 3 seconds, you hold your breath for 3 seconds, and then you release for 3 seconds. But all you really have to do is just focus in on your breathing and clearing your energy and things like that, and I will keep the count for you. So on the count of 3, we will start triangle breathing. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in 3, 2, 3. Hold 3, 2, 3. Release 3, 2, 3. Breathe in 3, 2, 3. Hold 3, 2, 3. Release 3, 2, 3. Last time, family. Breathe in 3, 2, 3. Hold 3, 2, 3. Release 3, 2, 3. Now, as you sit there, relax and monitoring your breathing and your energy, I want you to repeat these affirmations after me. As a matter of fact, visualize yourself doing something with the earth that creates a sense of calmness for you. But as you focus in on your visualizations and listening to the sound of my voice and creating the energy that you want to have internally so that you can project that externally, I want you to repeat after me. I am safe and secure. I am grounded and centered. I am self-sufficient. I am financially secure. And I love being in my body. I am safe and secure. I am grounded and centered. I am self-sufficient. I am financially secure. And I love being in my body. And before we jump into continuing, I don't even remember where we are in the story. It's been so long since we read it. But before we jump into continuing the story, oh man, we are close to the end. That was a good question. So I need to make sure I get let me see where we at. How many pages we got left? We on chapter 35. We got enough. I do want to remind you that you can get you a copy of the 7 Spaces of Healing for yourself. If you are on this journey, this healing journey, you need somewhat of a guide to be able to help you. This is to help you recognize spaces that you need to put yourself in that will support your growth, development, healing, your authentic self, and the spaces that you need to cultivate within you. They're the same space, which is a space of love, a space of healing, a space of solitude, a space of trust, a space of risk without judgment, and a space of accountability, and a space of forgiveness. All things that we need to cultivate within ourselves and make sure that we place ourselves in these spaces to support our evolution. Man, listen. I'm going to turn that off. I don't even know. Listen. Tell you something. Liberty. We got to tell these people how I am, babe. I got to know what your shows be about. I got to know what you about. I got to know a little bit about your energy before you invite me to be on your show. Because I just read 7 spaces that you want to cultivate within yourself and place yourself in, which means for me, I don't place myself in anywhere unless I know it fits into some space that's going to be beneficial to my evolution, my growth and development, supportive of who I become, and all of those things. So I just laugh sometimes when I get invites to shows that have nothing to do with what I'm about. So I appreciate the invite and I appreciate the opportunity. And you can get me on your show if you're doing something I'm about, or you one of my people and I'm trying to support your thing that you got going on. So anyway, we're on chapter 35. I'm trying to remember where we at. I don't know. All right. I'm a little hungry. Chapter 35. 10 minutes. It was only 10 minutes after Ike and Tangerine left that Maya got a phone call. Buddy Lee had drunk the last of his beers and was making Ariana a grilled cheese sandwich when Maya's phone began chirping. I love grilled cheese sandwich. I've loved them all my life, and I still love them. It's one of my favorite sandwiches in the world. Is that Ike? Buddy Lee asked. Maya pulled the phone out of her pocket and checked it. No, it's our neighbor, Mary Ann, Maya said. She put the phone to her ear. Hello? Hi, Maya. It's Randy and Mary Ann. Randy, Mary Ann's husband. Your house is on fire, Randy said. What? Maya screamed. Yeah, I already called the fire department, but I wanted to let you know because, listen, this is funny. Not funny, but it is ironic or one of the synchronicities of life. I remember something similar like that happened to my best friend. It was wild. She was on vacation or out of town somewhere, and one of her neighbors called her and told her a tornado messed up her house. What? Do you know how heartbreaking that is when you're away from your home and somebody calls you to tell you that your house is on fire or a tornado? It was funny. She was like, I can hear these people. She tell me that story. That's what makes it funny, because she's hilarious. She's one of those people who really is not trying to be funny, but it's hilarious. So when she told that story, she was like, Peter, I can hear them walking through my house. I was like, what? My house alarm going off? I'm like, what? See, baby girl, hey, listen. It was wild though. So baby girl loved grilled cheese too. So I see that's why she be liking the show. And it's funny because what she said about the bowls be too loud. And I think that is ironic because when I first started doing the Reiki and started hanging with the healing people and all this stuff, man, when they got to playing that bowl specifically, I was like, oh my God, it's too loud. So I don't know where I got to the point where it didn't bother me as much. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me find out, baby girl needs some break in her life. G, I appreciate you. Hey man, I want you to know, man. Listen, I say it for the world. Um, I'm proud of you, G. For real, for real. I know how wild it can be to just jump out there. I know you've done it before, step out on faith, but flip your life upside down for a different opportunity. So if ain't nobody tell you today, I'm telling you now, I'm still proud of you. All right, so I'm not calling you that shaman god he on Facebox. So if you out there and if you need some healing work, check him out. My man, be good. That's generally one of the people I'll be talking about when I talk about my homeboy. Then it's another one that I'll be talking about with my college roommate. But we've been through a bunch of stuff. Liberty said, "Peace, Ali." If you can't see it on the screen, she said, "What's up?" Which is funny, cause I remember when I first tried to introduce y'all, she ain't even want to talk to nobody. She was acting antisocial. It took, I ain't even feeling a lot since y'all both here. It took Ali a long time to get over that. You remember we was at the shop? She went and sat on the bench away from everybody. She was like, "I'm not messing with y'all. Y'all just she ain't have no, she barely had enough emotional availability for me." And here I go trying to make her meet people. She ain't had none. And then it was her first time meeting her. It was funny. So I'm glad that we all have grown past that. And she love you now and you love her. So much respect, family. Man, I don't even care. All right. Hey, Maya, it's Randy, Mary Ann's husband. Your house is on fire, Randy said. What? Maya screamed. Yeah, I already called the fire department, but I wanted to let you know because Maya hung up on him. She jumped off the couch and picked up Ariana. Hey, what's wrong? Buddy Lee said. He put Ariana's sandwich on a paper plate and brought it into the living room. The house is on fire. I gotta go, Maya said. She started for the door. Buddy Lee dropped the plate on his coffee table and stepped in front of Maya. Oh, hey, hold on now. What do you mean your house is on fire? My neighbor's husband just told me our house is on fire. He called the fire department, but I gotta go, Maya said. Buddy Lee put his hands on her shoulder. Maya, you can't go over there, Buddy Lee said. The fuck I can't, Maya said. She shrugged his hands off. Listen to me. This is a bait and a trap, and you about to be a rabbit that takes it, Buddy Lee said. Buddy Lee, I ain't got time to stand here and trade Uncle Remus proverbs with you. My house is on fire. I have to go. Now get out of my way. Maya, stop and think. There are some boys out here who want to see me and Ike's head on a stick. We took off with the girl they're trying to feel full of lead like she's a storage locker for bullets. These boys know where Ike lives. Now, I ain't a smart man, but even I can see the odds of your house catching on fire the same day we had a run-in with these boys. Sis, them odds on the south side are zero, Buddy Lee said. His baby shoes are there. A lock of his hair is there from his first haircut. There's a poem he wrote me in the second grade. You don't understand. It's all I got left of him. I can't lose him all over again. I can't, Maya said. Her face was twisted in a half frown, half snarl. This was moments away from becoming a vial of tears. Sis, I don't think there's nobody within 100 miles that understand like I do. But if your house is on fire right now, ain't nothing gonna be left by the time you get there, Buddy Lee said. I'm sorry. I ain't mean it like that, but I gotta try. Buddy Lee rubbed his face, then put his hands on his hip. All right, let's go. But call Ike and let him know we leaving, Buddy Lee said. I'll call him on the way, Maya said. They tried to call Ike 3 times. 2 times it went straight to voicemail. The last time it didn't even get that far. Buddy Lee knew there were parts of Red Hill that had spotty service. Then there were parts where you'd be better off sending a message by Pony Express than trying to make a phone call. That knowledge didn't help calm his nerves. Splitting up had felt like a mistake. He knew going to the house was a mistake, but Ma didn't give him much choice. He couldn't make her stay, and there was no way he was going to let her go alone. He didn't have many mementos of Derek. The only one he really had was the picture in his wallet, and he couldn't imagine how he'd react if suddenly it went up in flames. When the people you love are gone, it's the things they've touched that keep them alive in your mind. A picture, a shirt, a poem, a pair of baby shoes. They become anchors that help you keep their memory from drifting away. Ma turned on Route 34, doing 35. The first left would be Town Bridge Road. The sky was full of stars that twinkled like cast-side diamonds. Buddy Lee felt his stomach fall to his knees. Ma turned on Town Bridge. Wait, Buddy Lee said. What, Ma said? Where's the smoke? Where's the flames? Where's the God bless fire department, he said. Ma eased her foot off the gas and stopped the car. Oh no, Ma said. The chrome spokes on the wheels of the 15 motorcycles idling in front of her house shimmered in the glare of her headlights. The engine sounded like a pack of wolves snarling just before they set out for the hunt. Back up, Buddy Lee said. Ma didn't move. Back up, Buddy Lee screamed. Ariana began to cry. Ma put the car in reverse and hit the gas. The 4 cylinders under the hood sounded like a rusty hinge. Buddy Lee grabbed the machine gun from between his legs. He clicked off the safety and laid the gun on his lap. I did what you said. You can't let me go right now, Randy said. He was in front of his house on his knees. Grayson had the barrel of a .357 pressed against the nape of his neck. Yeah, but you're a fucking rat. Who does that shit to their neighbor? Oh, wow. Grayson said. He cracked Randy on the back of his head with the butt of his gun. He watched as the chick put the car in reverse and started backing up. Light it up, he roared. A few brothers set fire to rags and draped the necks of bottles they were holding. They tossed them through the windows of Ike's and Maya's house. The rest of the brothers took off after a small maroon sedan. Maya ran off the road, took out a mailbox, then corrected herself and got back on the gravel. The headlights of the motorcycles advanced on them like a swarm of fireflies. Maya rocketed past the stop sign and at the end of the road slammed on the brakes and put the car in drive. Buddy Lee saw a new set of lights bearing down on them from the front, the driver's side. Fucking hell, he said, just before a dome crashed into them with the late model royal blue Bronco like a wrecking ball. The car flipped over once, then twice before resting on its side, where it balanced precariously for a moment until gravity claimed what was hers and it ended up upside down on the roof. The bike surrounded the car like a crowd watching a busker. Buddy Lee's mouth was full of blood. The bitter, coppery taste was making him gag. He coughed and tried to spit. The blood spattered across his face. A few of his back teeth felt untethered from their socket. His body was a live wire of agony. Pain sparked up and down every nerve, every synapse. He spit again, and this time a couple of his black teeth came flying out and landed on the headliner. Where's the gun? Where was it? Shit! He had to move. If he can get out the car, he can get their attention. They come after him and leave Maya and Ariana alone. He had to move. He was upside down, but he had to move. Buddy Lee wasn't much on seatbelts, but Maya had insisted he wear one when they had gotten in the car. It might have saved his life, but now it was a noose slowly strangling him as he hung upside down like a butchered buck. He reached for the clasp. His fingers felt confused. He tried to unlatch the seatbelt, but his digits didn't want to cooperate. He heard the sound of heavy footsteps on the gravel, then the screech of metal against the passenger door as it was forced open. Grayson dropped down to his haunches. You must be the other daddy. Y'all like ebony and ivory, Grayson said. I could have been your daddy, but the line was too long, Buddy Lee said. This motherfucker talk trash all the way down. Grayson smiled. He held his .357 by the barrel and smashed Buddy Lee in the front side of his face. Buddy Lee felt something in his chest give away. Pain coursed through his whole head like a runaway train. Grayson put the business end of the gun against Buddy Lee's stomach. Where's Tangerine? I don't fucking know. Ike took her away from here. You ain't never gonna find her, Buddy Lee said. Grayson moved the barrel from Buddy Lee's stomach to his mouth. He pushed it down his throat until the trigger guard was nearly touching his nose. Tell me where she is, and I won't shoot this half-breed in the back seat that's crying her fucking head off, Grayson said. Buddy Lee started flailing his arms and squirming against his seatbelt. You keep your fucking hands off her, you fucking suckers. Leave that girl alone. It came out like garbled gibberish, but Grayson knew what he was trying to say. She means something to you, huh? Who is she? Is she the Black's daughter? Wait, don't tell me. The two pansies had a baby? How the fuck does anybody let them have a child? Jesus, what is this world coming to? Grayson said. Grayson took the gun out of Buddy Lee's mouth. Tell me where Tangerine is, or I start using her for target practice. I don't know. He took her, and he didn't tell us where he was going. She's just a baby. Leave her the fuck alone. You want to kill somebody? Kill me. Come on, do it. Shit for brains. Do it. Buddy Lee screamed. Grayson stood. Dome, get that brat out of a car seat. See if that bitch has a cell phone too, Grayson said. He dropped back down to eye level with Buddy Lee. I think you're telling the truth. That would have been smart, him not letting you know, and he strikes me as one of the smart ones. And don't worry, I'm going to give you what you want. It's going to be sooner rather than later. I'd do it right now, but you're lucky. I need to deliver you a message, and it looks like this bitch done broke her neck, Grayson said. No, Nanny. Grandpa, Ariana cried. Buddy Lee heard the door screech as Dome pried it open. Then there was the clink of buckles being unlatched. That sound broke him in places he thought were already shattered. All right, we're going to take this little mongrel with us. Maybe that'll motivate you to find Tangerine, Grayson said. Ariana ain't got nothing to do with this. Let her go. Let her go, Buddy Lee howled. Grayson laughed. This is Ariana. So that's who he was calling out for. I'm figuring the white one was yours, right? Yeah, right before I shot him in the face, he said her name. I wonder why he'd be calling out for a girl. I thought it was his mama. Lots of people call for their mama, Grayson said. The blood from the wound on his cheek was dripping into Buddy Lee's eyes. He blinked hard as he strained his neck to look at the big blonde biker. You will, before me and you is done. I promise you will, Buddy Lee said. Bring us the girl, Ivory. We'll be in touch, Grayson said. Buddy Lee watched as his boots walked away from the car. A few seconds later, he heard the bikes tearing their way down the road. The thunderous rumble of their engines became faint anchors as they disappeared into the night. Hey, that Uncle Remus Proverbs was wild. That's all right. We'll give you a pass. Cause you was definitely super anxious then. And I can't say you was introverted then, cause literally you still a little introverted. The internet is getting you out of your box a little bit. So 36. Ike stormed past the receptionist at the emergency department desk and pushed through the heavy vinyl doors. Sir, you just can't go back there, she said, as he did exactly that. He went straight to the nurse's station. A young Latina woman in light blue scrubs Listen, it's a Latin X, right? And I'm laughing because I see this thing on TikTok that said, if you want to make somebody from South America mad, call them that. You want to call them Mexican? You want to make a Mexican mad? Call them that. You want to make anybody from South America? You call them Latin X. They according to TikTok, allegedly they don't like that word. Okay, Ike, she's in surgery. The woman said. Surgery for what, Sylvia? Ike asked. She has a ruptured spleen and perforated intestine and a punctured lung. There was a fracture in her skull, Sylvia said. Ike swayed on his feet. He put his hands on the desk and let his head hang low. Ike, Dr. Prathik said, is one of the best thoracic surgeons in the entire state. Maya's one of us. She's been here for 10 years. She's like everybody's mom. We got her, Ike. Believe me. Just come back out to the waiting room and I'll come get you when she's out, Sylvia said. Ike's heart was beating so hard, his ears were ringing. What about Ariana? Where's Ariana? Where's Buddy Lee? Ike asked. Once the road was finally clear, Ike had driven like a bat out of hell over to the trailer court. He alternately continued to call Maya and Buddy Lee as he chewed up the road. When he pulled up to Buddy Lee's trailer and saw that Maya's car was gone, he experienced a terror so complete it felt like he was about to have an out-of-body episode. That terror had been replaced with despair moments after he answered the call from the hospital where his wife worked. I think I can answer your questions, the deputy said. Ike straightened and faced the man. He was a wiry specimen. The brown and tan uniform of Red Hills Sheriff Department clung to his sharp, angular physique. What happened? Let's go over here and talk, Ike, the deputy said. Ike didn't recognize him, but everyone in Red Hill knew Ike. They either remembered the criminal he used to be, or they were familiar with the man he become. Such was the curse of a small town. Ike followed the deputy through the vinyl doors and down the hall to the chapel. Red Hill General's Chapel was a shabby thing made up of 2 short pews, a picture of Greg Allman Jesus. Greg Allman Jesus? What is that? And a couple of fake stained glass windows. Ike stood near the pew as the deputy stopped, just inside the door frame. I'm Deputy Hodge. I'm sorry about all this, but we have some things we need to clear up, he said. What happened, Deputy Hodge? Shoulder stiffened. Just stay calm, Mr. Randolph. I'm going to tell you. I can't stay calm because no one will tell me a goddamn thing. So can the next word out of your mouth be how my wife and my granddaughter and our friend ended up in the hospital, Ike said. Yeah, I don't use the word either. You know what I mean? I feel more comfortable just asking them where they from. You know what I mean? So I can give them respect to call them whatever they are from where they're from. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean, if they're American, whatever. That's just too general. His brain registered that he had called Ariana his granddaughter and Buddy Lee his friend, but he couldn't ruminate on that now. Sir, I'm trying to tell you, but you need to calm yourself. Why they always say that, man? Just tell me and I might calm down. Shut up. Trying to tell me to calm. Now, what did the hospital tell you when they called? Deputy Hodge asked. You already know what they said. There'd been an accident. My wife and her passenger, Buddy Lee Jones, had been injured. They didn't tell me about Ariana. They didn't tell me what happened. This is as calm as I'm going to get, Ike said. This wasn't an accident, Mr. Randolph. A person or persons unknown intentionally ran into your wife's car. They set a fire to your home, assaulted your neighbor, and Deputy Hodge paused. Ike's chest tightened. They took your granddaughter. They kidnapped her, Deputy Hodge said. The ground beneath Ike's feet vanished. He collapsed in the pew. Deputy Hodge sat next to him. I talked to your friend, but he wasn't much help. Now please don't take this wrong, but is there anyone you can think of that has a problem with you? You know, anybody from back in the day? Deputy Hodge asked. Leave me alone, Ike said. Ike, we're going to do everything we can to find that little girl and the people who did this, but I need your help. I need you to be honest with me. Stealing the child and burning down a house are personal attacks, extremely personal. You know who did this. Tell me so we can get her back before it's too late, Deputy Hodge said. I don't know anything, Ike said. That wasn't a complete lie. His life was run about, spinning out of control. Isaiah was dead. Maya was fighting for her life on the operating table. Ariana was gone. Their house was a pile of cinders. He didn't know how to stop the chaos he and Buddy Lee had unleashed. He didn't know how to protect the people he loved. He didn't know anything anymore. Are you sure about that? Just go, man, please, Ike said. Deputy Hodge stood and adjusted his uniform. If you change your mind, you know how to reach us. And if you don't change your mind, you might want to get ready for another funeral, Deputy Hodge said. That's cold. Damn. That was cold. Buddy Lee could feel eyes on him. It made the hairs on his arms stand at attention. He opened his eyes and saw Ike standing at the foot of his bed. What the fuck happened? Ike said. Buddy Lee scratched his chin, then flinched. The wound on his cheek made his whole face tender. Your neighbor called us and told Maya the house was on fire. She was dead set on going over there. And when we got there, the breed was waiting for us. House wasn't even on fire then. They did all that while trying to get away. They came at us on bikes. Then the son of a bitch driving a Bronco ran into us from the side. Ike, they took Ariana. They snatched that little girl right up. They took Maya's phone too. Said they'd be in touch. They want to trade Tangerine for Ariana, Buddy Lee said. No, they don't. They want us to bring Tangerine so they can kill us all, Ike said. Did she tell you anything about this guy, Buddy Lee asked? Ike shook his head. Nope. She still can't believe he's the one doing all this. She even showed me a text message from him. That fucker talks slicks as fish grease. She's hooked, Ike said. I don't suppose she had his name on the text, did she? Buddy Lee asked. She got him saved in her phone as W. I don't know if that's the first letter of his name, of his first name, or the first letter of his last name, or what, Ike said. He grabbed a chair that had been placed against the wall and sat down next to Buddy Lee. What did they say about Maya? Buddy Lee asked. She got a lot going on. She's in surgery right now. God damn it. God damn it to hell, Buddy Lee said. Ike heard voices in various degrees of distress drip up and down the hallway outside of Buddy Lee's room. They joined the beeps and whistles of numerous monitors and machines to create an ambient, mechanical soundtrack to Ike and Buddy Lee's thought. I'm sorry, Ike, Buddy Lee said. Ike didn't say anything. I shouldn't have let her go. I should have stopped her, but she wanted to save what she could. I should have gone over there by myself. I should have done anything but let her out that door, Buddy Lee said. Yeah, you should have. And we should have left it alone. Let the cops handle it, whatever that ended up looking like. But we didn't. And now we are here. Ike said. We got to get her back, Ike. Whatever it takes to get her back, Buddy Lee said. I'm not giving them Tangerine. And I'm not going to let them hurt Ariana. They killed our boys. They killed Tangerine's mama. They tried to kill my wife. They burnt down my fucking house. I'm not letting them take one more goddamn thing, Ike said. I wish I had never got you into this, Buddy Lee whispered. Ike scooted his chair up closer to Buddy Lee's bed. You didn't twist my arm, Ike said. Buddy Lee swallowed hard. What if I did, though? Ike cocked his head to the side. What are you talking about? Buddy Lee put his hands over his face. His fingers brushed against the stitches on his cheek. The blood pressure monitor began to beep erratically. Would you have gotten on with this if that tombstone hadn't gotten smashed? Buddy Lee asked. Ike leaned forward. His eyes narrowed to slits. Buddy Lee saw the gears in his head locking in place. You, Ike said. Buddy Lee could barely hear the single syllable. You wasn't going to be down for it. I couldn't do it by myself. I'd asked my brother Chet, and he blew me off. Look, it made me sick. I swear it made me sick to my stomach, but I knew you wasn't going to help unless, Buddy Lee said. Ike was up and out the chair in a matter of seconds. His powerful hands locked around Buddy's neck and lifted him up out the bed, ripping his IV line out of the port on the back of his hand. The blood pressure monitor fell over like a rotted tree. You, Ariana might be dead. Maya is in the death's door. Tangerine's mama is dead. All because of you. You did this, Ike said. Spittle flew from his lips and rained down on okay. And rained down on Buddy Lee's face. We have to finish it for the boys, Buddy Lee croaked. Each word cost him precious gulps of air as Ike throttled the life out of him. Buddy Lee could feel the bones in his neck begin to ground into powder. Ike bared his teeth. He let Buddy Lee fall back into the bed. You motherfucker. You guilted me into doing this, you piece of shit, Ike said. I know. It's all my fault, but we're here now. For a minute, I thought you wasn't so bad. I trusted you. But it's just like I said. You wanted a scary-ass black dude to do all the hard work for you, Ike said. I wanted the only man in the world who I knew what I was going through to help me make it right, Buddy Lee said, rubbing his neck. Guess neither one of us is good judge of character, Ike said. He headed for the door. Ike, don't say a goddamn thing, not one word. I need to go see if my wife made it out of surgery. If she did, I have to figure out how to tell her our grandbaby is gone. Then I got to figure out how to get that baby back without turning over Tangerine. I got to do all this by myself because your ass went and cracked our son's tombstone, you stupid motherfucker, Ike said. Buddy Lee watched as Ike stalked out of his room. Buddy Lee coughed. The act caused his ears to pop. He'd been alone before, but that was nothing new. Night spent out in his car or truck after trying one on so hard he knew he couldn't drive. Days after being released from the Gray Bar Hotel, hitching his way back home because he had no one waiting for him on the other side. Long evenings sitting in his trailer, staring at the flickering electric shadows on the idiot box as he swallowed beer after beer, trying to forget the tender kisses of his first wife's love or the laughter of his only son. Buddy Lee closed his eyes. This felt different. This felt permanent. It was an hour later when his phone rang. Not his cell phone, but the phone in the room. Buddy Lee stretched his arm over the railing and grabbed the handset. Hello? Buddy? Christine said. What do you want? Buddy Lee asked. I was calling to check on you. I saw the news, Christine said. Red Hill made the news? That's a first, Buddy Lee said. It's not every day kidnappers take a little girl and burn down her grandparents' house. Are you okay? Christine said. We're her grandparents too, Christine, Buddy Lee snapped. I know that, okay? This is all so much after what happened to Derek. I don't want anything to happen to her. I don't want anything to happen to anyone, Christine said. Her sadness was palatable. It made Buddy Lee wince. Hey, look, I'm sorry. Like you said, this is a lot, Buddy Lee said. Do you think this has anything to do with what you told me the other day? Christine asked. Buddy Lee didn't answer. Okay, I'm going to ask you again. How are you? Christine said. Don't do that. Do what? Care about me. It's easier when we hate each other, Buddy Lee. I never hated you, Buddy Lee. You got on everyone's nerves, but I never hated you, Christine said. Gerald don't mind you yapping with your ex-husband, or is he listening in on the line, Buddy Lee said. Ha! Gerald Winthrop Culpepper doesn't have time to stalk my calls. He's too busy working on his campaign, Christine said. Buddy Lee sat right up in the bed. A nurse came in the room, but he waved her away. Say what now? Buddy Lee said. Gerald is gearing up to run for governor. I told you that the other day. His daddy been pushing for it since he lost his own bid for the governor's mansion. No, not that part. Say his name again. His whole name. Buddy Lee said, what? Why? Just do it. Gerald Winthrop Culpepper. He was named after his great-grandfather. Are you okay? Christine asked. I'm fine, Buddy Lee said. Pieces were falling into place in his head like a giant game of Tetris. It all made sense now. Why Derek was so pissed about Tangerine's boyfriend. What had he called him? A hypocrite and an asshole? Christine had said Derek had called before he got killed. She had ignored it, but Derek wasn't the type to take no for an answer. He probably went over there to see her, ran into Gerald, told him about himself. Motherfucker, Buddy Lee said. What did you call me? Christine asked. Buddy Lee knew why Tangerine had him saved on the phone under W. Now it made sense how they met. Gerald Culpepper and Christine were always in the paper at this or that high society get together. When Tangerine mumbled, we can't win, she wasn't saying that we couldn't make it. She was saying win. Short for Winthrop. That's the name of the place you moved to in King William Valley. Buddy Lee asked. Garden Acres, Buddy Lee said. What's wrong? Christine asked. Nothing. He put his headset back in the cradle. He got out of bed and went over to talk to the tea cabinet in the corner. His clothes were in a clear plastic bag on the second shelf. By the time he had his boots on, the nurse had waved away, had returned. Mr. Jenkins, you need to get back into bed. The doctor wants you under observation for the next 24 hours, she said. Darling, I'm walking out that door in 10 seconds. If you need to tell the doctor I left against medical advice, well, I reckon that's okay. But I'm not staying here one more minute, Buddy Lee said. The nurse threw her hands up and grabbed his chart off the bed. It took him a while to find his truck. Ike had parked it way out in the far end of the lot. Buddy Lee grabbed his key ring, unlocked the door, climbed in the truck. He flipped open the glove box. The big semi-automatic was there. He checked the clip. It was empty. So was the chamber. Ike had been riding around empty-handed. The MAC-10 was in Maya's car sitting in some good old boy's salvage yard. That was all right. He started the truck. The engine changed and shook as the truck struggled to idle. Buddy Lee reached behind the bench seat. He moved his hand carefully over the broken glass that had fallen in the gap. When he found what he was looking for, he closed his hand around it and pulled it from behind the seat. It was an old wooden baseball bat with nails driven into it at regular intervals. His former co-worker Chuck called it the homemade mace. A lot of folks still paid in cash when he made his deliveries. He could have gotten a gun, but if he got pulled over by DOT, he'd lose his job, go to jail, and his boss would probably have to pay a fine. This peacemaker seemed like a good alternative. He only had to use it twice. Usually pulling it was enough of a deterrent. The baseball bat with nails, a tamper, a .45. It occurred to Buddy Lee that anything could be a weapon if you were dedicated enough. Even love, especially love. Buddy Lee pulled out the parking lot and merged into traffic. He started to sing. It was a song his grandmother would sing every funeral for a member of the Jenkins clan. When her time came, they sang it at hers. Oh death, won't you spare me over till another year? Buddy Lee crooned as he rode down the highway. All right. Chapter 37, Garden Acres. Garden Acres was indeed in the middle of nowhere. The GPS had gotten within 10 miles of the planned community. From there, it was looking for real estate signs that advertised lots for sales, which led him to a wide side road with a blacktop so smooth it looked like it was poured fresh every night. Buddy Lee had the gas on the pedal to the floor. His truck was barely hitting 50. The motor cried out for mercy, but that particular emotion was in short supply tonight. Buddy Lee turned on the Garden Acres Drive. A cloud of gray and black smoke billowed from his dualies. The road was lined by pink rhododendrons and had concrete gutter that ran alongside the road. Buddy Lee passed house after house that cost more than he ever made, legally or illegally. Intricately landscaped lawns would have given Ike and his crew a run for their money, bisected by long paved driveways. Many of those driveways had brick columns with mailboxes built into the center. A few had gates. Most of them had attached two-car garages. There was a running sense of conformity throughout the neighborhood. Like here was a standard architectural design that denoted affluence. Buddy Lee brought the truck to a halt. Christine was one of those who parked her car in the front of the garage instead inside of it. Buddy Lee thought Gerald probably had a work vehicle and a fun time vehicle. No room for Christine's gold Lexus. Buddy Lee turned onto the driveway. He revved the engine a few times. "One more time, old girl. Give me all you got one more time," he murmured. Buddy Lee hit the gas. His truck, a used rambling wreck that he paid $1,500 for 6 years ago, roared to life, even as oil shot out the exhaust pipe. Buddy Lee raced up the driveway. By the time he flew past Christine's car and careened through the garage door, he was doing 45. He smashed into a candy apple red Corvette parked next to a black BMW. And he was right. Buddy was going to make his wife park outside, right? Buddy Lee undid his seatbelt and climbed out the truck. Beautiful brass carriage lights ignited on both sides of the front door. A wooden, barn-style piece of art with wrought iron corbels running across his face. It sat at the top of 7 wide brick steps. Buddy Lee climbed those steps, gripped the Louisville Slugger with both hands, and smashed the nearest brass light to smithereens. He heard footsteps racing around inside the 2-story mansion. "Gerald, come on down, you fucking cocksucker. Come on down, you murdering son of a bitch," Buddy Lee screeched. 2 small terracotta lions sat on each side of the front door next to glazed clay planter. Buddy Lee obliterated each lion and planter with a couple of swings from his bat. Plaster chips flew up and landed on his lank hair. "You were fucking that girl, Gerald. You were fucking her, and Derek found out," Buddy Lee bellowed. He hopped down off the steps. A picture window to the left door felt the fury of his bat. It took 2 hard swings, but the window eventually broke into a million pieces. "Buddy Lee, stop this," Christine shrieked. She was standing on the other side of the cloth-covered chaise that sat in the front former picture window. Buddy Lee pointed at her with the bat. "He killed our son, Christine. He killed Derek. He killed him," Buddy Lee bellowed. Christine put her hands to her mouth. "What are you saying? Derek found out he was cheating on you with this girl named Tangerine. Come on down, Gerald, or should I call you Win?" "That's what she called you, right? You son of a b," Buddy Lee said. "Gerald, who is—" Gerald's voice cut off in mid-sentence. It echoed through the house with unmistakable thinness that came from a speaker. "The police have been called, buddy," Gerald said. "Come on out here, Gerald. I'm going to bash your fucking brains in, but not before I make you say my boy's name. Get out your panic room and come on out here, boy," Buddy Lee said. "Buddy Lee, the police will be here any minute," Christine said. "You think they can get here before I shove this bat down Gerald's throat? Come on out, boy. Face me. Face the father of the man you killed. You got the stones for that, or do you get the breed to do all your work for you? Buddy Lee said. Gerald spoke again. Buddy Lee could hear the smirk through the speakers. This isn't a B movie starring Warren Otters, Buddy Lee. I suggest you put that bat down and get on the ground right now. You're just looking at a felony destruction of property and trespassing. Don't add attempted murder to the list, Gerald said. I ain't attempting anything. You ain't coming out, I'm coming in, he said. And he went back to his truck, tried starting it again. The sputter didn't catch. He tried again. Last time, old girl, he thought. The truck turned over, but just barely. Buddy Lee backed up and disengaged himself from the garage door. He slipped in the gear, the shift into drive. Gerald came out the darkness with a cell phone in hand. He stood behind Christine as she stared out the hole that used to be their window. Did he leave? No. Who's Tangerine? Christine asked with an eerie calm. Oh my God, Gerald said. He grabbed Christine by the arm and snatched her away from the picture window just as Buddy Lee trucks came careening into their living room. The bricks around the window cracked, shifted, and fell to the ground like meth heads' teeth. The chase crumpled under the weight of Buddy Lee's truck. The front wheels spun across the wood floor, leaving black tire streaks of rubber in their wake. Buddy Lee fell out the truck with the baseball bat in his hand. Using it as a cane, he climbed to his feet. I'm coming, you fucker. I'm going to see what your insides look like, Buddy Lee said. Gerald dragged Christine through the batwing doors that separated their kitchen from the dining room. Buddy Lee followed them, digging holes in the sheetrock with his bat. As he stalked them. He knocked one of the batwing doors off his mounts with one swing. Gerald stood behind Christine. He had a butcher knife in his hand. You ever kill a man, Gerald? Up close and personal like? Not over the phone. Felt his blood splat on your face? Heard the last rattle of his breath in his throat? Smelled the shit in his pants when his bowels let go? I have. So believe me when I tell you that knife ain't gonna slow me down one bit, Buddy Lee said. Please, Buddy Lee, stop, Christine said. He killed our boy, Buddy Lee roared. He swung the bat in a whistling half circle and took out the coffee maker sitting on the granite countertop that ran the length of the far left wall. Say his name, Gerald, Buddy Lee yelled. He slammed the bat against the juicer that had evaded his first attack. Say it, Derek Wayne Jenkins, Buddy Lee shouted. Drop the bat, an authoritative figure said behind him. Buddy Lee froze. Drop it. Buddy Lee looked back over his shoulder. Two deputies were standing behind him with their hands on their guns. Buddy Lee dropped the bat. It clattered against Italian marble that covered the floor. Thank God for privilege, Buddy Lee said under his breath. He launched himself at Christine and Gerald. Gerald pushed his wife at Buddy Lee. Buddy Lee swatted her to the side and grabbed the butcher knife in Gerald's hand and the blade with his right. He punched Gerald in the face with his left. The second his knuckles connected with that lantern-sized jaw was the happiest moment Buddy Lee had experienced in months. Even as strong arms snaked around his body, he kept hitting Gerald. He wrenched that knife from his hand and let it fall to the floor. Blood flowed from the sliced palm and rained down on the tile. When he was out of arm's reach, Buddy Lee kicked at Gerald. The deputies struggled to get him down to the ground. He killed my boy. He killed my boy. My boy, Buddy Lee screamed until his words ran together and became unilateral, the unintelligible song of sorrow. Buddy Lee leaned back against the cold cinder blocks that lined the holding cell. They had bandaged his hand and tossed him in the tank an hour ago. It was the weekend, so there were a lot of drunks sharing the 20 by 20 space with him. A few raggedy-faced boys were there in the throes of an opioid addiction, and one quiet fella that seemed primed to burst into tears at any moment. It was like the good old days all over again. He probably wouldn't get bail, or if he did, it would be so hot he'd have to climb a table to pay it. He was looking at least a couple of felonies. Add to that his past convictions, he could be looking at real time. He'd failed. Failed Derek, failed Isaiah, failed Ike, failed Maya, failed Ariana. He was what he's always been, a fuck up. Jenkins, a deputy with the face made for radio, said. Buddy Lee squinted at him. Yeah, get up. Somebody wants to talk to you, the deputy said. Buddy Lee didn't move. Who in the hell want to talk to me? Who is it, he asked. Get your ass up, or do we have to come and put you in the chair? The deputy asked. The chair was a four-way restraining device for unruly prisoners. Buddy Lee had been in the chair once. He didn't seek another ride on that particular conveyance. He stood up and faced the wall. Two deputies joined Hatchet Face. They handcuffed him before leading him out the cell. They led him down a long, antiseptic white hallway lit by a series of flickering fluorescent lights. They came to a room marked lawyer with black letters on gold background. Hatchet Face opened the door, and the deputies guided him into a cool, narrow room. Strong hands pushed him down into the chair. They uncuffed his right hand and looped the empty cuff to a ring on the underside of the table. Who wants to talk to me? Buddy Lee asked. The deputies didn't respond. They slipped out without closing the door. We need to have the conversation, Mr. Jenkins, Gerald said as he walked into the room. Oh, that's interesting. All right, family. Welcome back to Book Club. I hope you enjoyed this part. We got a little bit left. Let me see. We're on 269. Okay, good. We still got a little bit left. We on 269. We got to get 324. So, family, I appreciate you, your time and energy. I hope that I can catch you back here Thursday for continuation of book club, or definitely catch us on Tuesday as we continue discussing the 12 universal laws. Where we at? We're in the law 3, law of correspondence. As above, so below. So that's been a fun thing. We got to the universal laws because we were going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction. But into understanding the law of attraction, we have to make sure we understand the framework that it sits within. So again, family, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to being back with you next week. Thank you, and peace.